Hi everybody, Eyal Mehaber here, taking it to the next level. And we are talking about, you see me on Instagram, you see me on social media, and I wanted to, in high level, go over, okay, what I've done, okay, who am I? And what is my niche that I'm able to create wealth in the real estate market? We have a property right now that we are going to close on it, God willing, 344 unit in Gainesville. Before we talk about this property, I just want to talk about some history, what we've done in the past few years, among others. Not everything, but this is among others. So here's an example. We bought a property in Fort Lauderdale, actually it's Tamarack, place called Golf Villa. 166 unit, we paid 16.3 million. Interesting story because we did a very minimum due diligence, not a high level due diligence. When your basis is so low, you don't want to ask too many questions because it's just not gonna go right. And we like to, there's an expression, sign first, ask question later. Anyway, over here, we pay $16.3 million. We did some value add, not too much. And at this time my partner bought me out and I was able to realize over 60% IRR on my money. This is just one example deal. Ladies and gentlemen, to do 20 unit, 30 unit, you're not able to realize this kind of profit, and there's gonna be a lot of work to get to the finish line. So why not do, there's an expression, go big or go home. We're not going to play around with small deals because there's too much headache, and it costs the same amount of time to get to the finish line with a bigger deal. So why not go big? Perfect example right here, we're able to get 60+% IRR on our money. Next one. This is a very, very beautiful property. It's got a good history here. I was the broker on this deal going back 20+ years ago. I sold it twice. And then I bought it sometime in 2015, where, you put money in CapEx, you think you're gonna put $200,000, $300,000 to close the deal, and then doing the operation, you only have about $200,000 or $300,000 of CapEx money. Not true, because why? I'm raising the rent, and money coming in. People are paying stupid rent. Guess what? Now I have to inject cash into the property because I'm getting the rent. Bottom line here, the situation here, my partner bought me out. I got 25% IRR. Sometimes you gotta let go. Don't be greedy. Do not be greedy. Why did I get out? I had a better opportunity that I was going to take the money and put it on. So sometimes you have to leave some money on the table, and that's not bad because at the end of the day, you are going to take that money and you'll make it work for you in a better property. So here's another one. We were able to realize just about 2.7 IRR on our money. It's tremendous. Next one, we are going to talk about another property. This property actually, we still own it. And by the way, what I'm showing you here is just very high level, general term, not everything. This is just the idea, what we do, what we have, and how we execute, and what kind of return we're looking at. So this is a property that we paid very low, $10 million, and only 189 units. And you know what? Somebody asked me a question, what's the big deal? You buy them so cheap, so of course you're gonna make money. Not so true. I've seen people during the great market, where people buying it cheap, and they're still losing money. So don't be a fool, just because you buy it cheap, you're gonna make money. It's all about execution and management. Here's a property that we bought, Fort Lauderdale, called Parrot Landing. And you know what? This is something I love because it's a big scale. We love to buy big scale properties. Situation here again, the way we sold it for really tremendous. We bought it. Actually, when we bought it, it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. But why did we pay a high price per unit at the time? Because we saw the play. Everything around us were new product. Okay, we were the ugliest property in the area, where we made it beautiful. We painted it, we got it to the finish line. And you always want to be the worst property in the neighborhood. And there's where the value make. Next one, here's another property that it's not my favorite, even though look at my IRR and my equity multiply. A lot of studios in one bedroom. But it was so cheap, and it was executed very well. I had the mortgage done already. I have everything. Everything was in place. When you look to buy into a property, and you can raise the rent, because that's your bread and butter. You have no choice. You got to execute. This property that we bought, next door to it, were all a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom in Fort Lauderdale, asking about at least 30% more in rent. You're gonna make money. So it's always about the rent. If you can't raise the rent, you got nothing. We don't buy a property with the idea, God willing, I'm gonna pray to God that it's gonna go up. I like to pray, I pray every morning, but I don't do it in a way where rely on luck. We don't want to rely on luck, we want to rely on probability and based on history, what we've done in the past. So again, it's all about probability, and you got to make sure you do your due diligence when it comes to rent comps. Here's another property. This one is in Tamarack. We are able to get just under two multiply. That's okay. You're not going to get a 2 or 3 multiply every time, but you're going to average. Your average is going to be in the 2s multiply. So over here, we were able to get just around 20% IRR, and we got out just in time to get something better and bigger. So we always have a game plan when we get out. You don't just get out, let me get out so I can take a big vacation, sell the world with the money. No, we don't do that, okay? We take the money and we change it to something better, something bigger. Here's another property that we did in Tampa. This property, we actually had a situation where lots of flooding and a bad roof that we encounter during the time we own it. So that's why it's extremely important to do due diligence. And when you buy something in the 1970s construction, you got to make sure you get 3, not 1, not 2, 3 roof coats from a licensed roofer. And then if you need the money, if you need to replace the roof, you need to put the money in escrow. Over here, we did not do that, and we actually had to come out of pocket to do the roof. But nevertheless, we execute beautifully, and we got a 2.0 multiply, 2.1 multiply. We did very well with this, but we need to, guys, when you guys do due diligence, you got to get your duck in a row, and we're going to go through a process about due diligence with our next project. Next one is another property, and this one is in Orlando. Just around under 40% IRR, 2.1 multiply. Why do we like to buy this property? The frontage, it was a tremendous frontage on the major highway. Call it, I wouldn't call it highway, we'll call it like a major avenue where maybe at least 40,000 cars a day. That's tremendous. You want to make sure you have a good exposure. And when we bought this property, it was neglected. Well, if I tell you we found a dead body, okay? I'm telling you, okay? It was a whole true story. But at the end of the day, okay, this curve appeal. I don't care what you do in the unit. You can make it beautiful. If you don't have the curve appeal, the property needs to be invited, okay? When I come in, I want to say, it calls you. Come in, come inside. Come take a look what I have to offer. And that's what we do. This one we execute very well. We got out and we made some money. These two, the next 2 Point West Piccadilly are my favorite. We bought it during COVID, mind you. And we all know about COVID. Very difficult time for everybody. We have we have a letter, a reference letter from one of the major lender in the U.S. called Greystone, that they were very happy with our execution during COVID. We never missed one payment. Repeat, we never missed one payment. This property is my all-time favorite because you can look at the return, 4x. When we got it, it wasn't easy. There's previous ownership, they owned it for over 35 years. Go even further, Gainesville is sensitive to school session. So in July, at that time, we closing in sometime in February, January, end of January. In July, there was a mass exodus of people leaving. About 50% vacancy, 50. We knew about it, okay? So we came in, we fired all management, I put in brand new teams. We put flyers and Domino Pizza boxes, okay, to get people to come into our community. At the end, we execute extremely well. We are very proud of my team. And by the way, this is not a one-man show. This is a team effort. Make no mistake. It's a team effort to get to the finish line, wherever we do. That's why it's very important to take care of your people. In the meantime, I wanted to talk to you about, this is just to give you a little history about what we did and what we accomplished only in the last few years. Remember, we have 25 years experience, so there was much, much more to talk about. If I was to talk about my history, I will be here all day. It's so boring stuff anyway. So we just want to give you a high level what we've accomplished and why we like multifamily, because of the fact that people always need to rent apartments. A human being always need a place to live. I'm not interested right now to find office building or retail plaza or warehouses and try to get people with businesses to move in. I don't have time for that. Time is money, and I'm looking what works. And not just that. What makes me happy, what I like, it's not as important what I like, what I want when it's time to get out. Remember, real estate is not liquid. So I need to know what the next buyer or what the lender going to feel about it when I go for a refi. So it's extremely important to make sure that whatever you buy is something that your next buyer will be happy with. We have a pool of buyers. I'll give you an example, very simple example. When it comes to commercial real estate, so you have office building, you have retail, you have warehouses, you have vacant, you have condos, you have single family houses. Well, that's residential. But you have commercial, you have multifamily. So at least you have multifamily, you have retail, you have office building, you have triple net leases, and you have warehouses. The most sought after, repeat, the most sought after is multifamily. So for every 10 investors out there, 9 out of 10 will be looking, okay, at multifamily. 1 out of 10 will look at everything else, commercial, warehouses, office building, retail, etc., etc. Why do I want to limit my market? I want to be where everybody is going to be. I want to be where I know it's time to sell, it's time to dump the assets. I have a pool of buyers like this that want to buy the assets, and therefore I can raise liquidity. So next few minutes, I wanted to hit hard on assets that we are trying to close on. What do I look about it? Why do I like about the property? Did I say it's a good deal? No, I'm not interested. Don't tell me it's a good deal. I want to know why is it a good deal. Very excited to go under contract for some 344 units in Gainesville. This is my wheelhouse. We love Gainesville. We know what to do. We know what it takes to raise the rent. And how do we do it? And what is this deal about? It's a good deal. Now, we want to know detail, guys, right? Why is it a good deal? Okay, Mr. Joey. Okay, let's scroll down, show the pictures. Look how beautiful. It's typical, very clean, by the way, extremely clean, no piece of paper on the floors. The property's got two different construction. So 50% 2004 and the other 50% 1986. we like the idea, actually, 178 unit 1986 and 166 unit 2004. Now, is that a bad thing or a good thing? Well, you don't want 1970s. We don't want really get involved in 1970 product. We try to get younger properties. So 178 unit 1986 I can deal with. It's not too many. Then the rest of them are 2004, which we love. And by the way, even the 1986 construction, they are very well kept. A nice size too. So it's not like, I wouldn't say that it's the property needs like so much work. No, it does not. It's really very, very well kept, which we're very happy about it. You can tell, Mr. Joy will show you, I want to show the audience, okay, what makes property so inviting. For example, swimming pool, okay, two swimming pool, 2 hot tubs, tennis courts, fitness center. The list goes on, barbecues area, clubhouse. You know, you don't have that in a house. You rent a house. As a tenant, I want to go and want to rent a house and I get my amenities. You don't have that. And that's where you want to go to a community. Now we're going to go ahead and I want to show the units inside. In this particular case, we don't have make too many units of 1 bedroom or too many units in 2 bedroom. We have a very nice mix of 1, 2, and 3, and mostly 2s. Gainesville is notorious for 2 bedrooms. It's a very, very well sought after 2-bedroom apartments in Gainesville, and they fly off the shelf. They go very fast. So take a look at the finishing. Look nice. The way we do the finishing, some of them already been done. We want to make it like condo living. So it's very inviting, not just in the outside. The curb appeal is extremely important, but also very important is the inside of the unit. You're not going to go in. I cannot come in the high rent if I give a shitty unit, pardon my French. No, I need to be nice, clean, no flooring. This one is an older kitchen. That's okay too. You can surface the cabinet. Mr. Joy, go down. Show the audience the layout of the units. Very nice. Now, how about 2-story, 2-bedroom? How about that? 2-story townhouse bedrooms. Go down, Joy. Already. And look how big are the 2 units. 1,350 square foot. I love it. Very excited about it. Go down. Okay, now we're going to talk about, again, you see how many 2-bedrooms we have. 108 units, mix of 1,200 units. That's a nice size unit and this is a good scale. You want to have a good scale because at the end of the day, that will pay your expenses. And what we like about this, only 18 unit, 3-bedroom, not too many. What does it mean? When I have so little 3-bedroom in my building, I'm going to have fun with that and I'm going to raise the rent the heck out of it because I don't have too many 3-bedrooms. Okay, going down. This is more or less, this is community. So you see this Southwest 62nd Street? This is a major street in Gainesville that leads to the mall, Gainesville Mall, and also lead to, there is a property next door, which we can talk about it. So when people come onto the street and they're looking for apartments, here's a problem. Most of the communities, there's about at least 4 or 5 other communities not too far from me that only accommodate student by the bed. So when they see the Earl, our property, the Earl, coming in, and it's not by the bed, it's conventional, they are very happy, they are very excited, because there is shortage of conventional housing in Gainesville. Too many students by the bed, not enough conventional in Gainesville. Therefore, this is what makes it very exciting, and you can take a look at it. By the way, the gown of, go back please, yeah. The gowns are very nice, very clean, and you can drive for so long. By the way, you can walk at nighttime. It's a big frontage, it's like a park setting. People love the idea that they have a place to walk, as opposed to no landscaping and all you see is highways. So that's what we love about it. You can take a look at the pool area. how much very inviting. The pool is very inviting, and we want a tenant to enjoy. Okay. We love the idea where a tenant come and then knocking our door, and I want to thank you so much. We're really happy with your amenity. We like your service. We like your property. We like your community, and we're going to recommend you to other potential tenant. And that's what it's all about, giving back to the community. We love to give back to the community. I want to talk about the return and the numbers on this deal. Mr. Joey, let's go back to the return. So, yeah, go back here. Yeah, that's good, yeah. When we look at numbers, okay, as you can tell, this is from day one. This is from the seller presentation. When we look at numbers, it's extremely important to look at the income as opposed to the just guess it. And you want to make sure, okay, that the money coming in. The expenses you can work with. You can make, every buyer will underwrite their own expenses. But at the end of the day, you can make up the income. You cannot make it up. If the income is not there, you can't make it up. So we are excited that the property bring about just around $500,000 a month, almost. And we are going to, when this is the seller numbers, column on the white. In the green, this is our number for the expenses. Although this is this T3, right, Joey?
T3, right.
Where's our numbers?
Trailing 3.
I'm sorry?
This is the trailing 3 in the
trailing 3. So our expense is going to be in this column, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So as you can see, look at our expenses. We're going to talk about our expenses. When we underwrite a deal, we have to make sure that we underwrite the deal the way the lender wants to see it. For example, okay, I cannot say my management going to be, let's go for management, for example, okay? What is management? Management fee.
Right here.
Sellers got zero on management. Are you kidding me? It doesn't exist. There's no such thing, $0 for management. So we use the formula 3% to 4%. Management, you can charge anywhere from 3 to 6. We like to be on the low side because we like to pass on the saving to our partners. So we charge 3% for management, sometimes 4%, but between 3 and 4%. And then when it comes to payroll, there is a formula that you use for payroll, which is $1,200 per unit per door. Joey, 344 unit times 1,200 is how much?
I think that's 412. Let's say 1,200.
12
times 344. 412,800. Exactly what's there.
How much?
Your payroll. Right here.
12,800.
1,200.
$1,200 per door. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, and I don't want to, you know what, Mr. Lender, let's do it. Let's put my payroll $200,000. Therefore, my net operating income gonna be much higher. I can get better proceed. Doesn't happen. We are professional, and we have to use what is industry standard, which is anywhere from $1,000, which used to be $900, but the cost of living went up. Anywhere from $1,100 to $1,200, $1,300, but $1,200 is very much a sweet spot when it comes to payroll. Then we're talking about general and administrative. Then you have marketing, repair and maintenance. So, those items, what has to do with the office, the office expense. For example, software. To run a property, you need a good quality, a good software for the tenant. It's not again, we're not mom and pop. We want to be professional, and we want to have the ability to provide to our tenant the access to pay online. How beautiful it is to pay your rent online, right? So therefore, that costs money. That's part of the general and administrative. And then you have marketing. Marketing is how do you market the property. You're always going to have advertisement online about your rent, about renting the unit. And the question, why do I have to advertise about my property if my property is fully occupied?
You want higher rent?
You always want to get higher rent, and you always want to make sure that your fingers on the pulse. Always have online ads, we are looking for renters. We are always looking for new tenants, always. We never stop. I love the idea that we have waiting lists. We want to have waiting lists on a property. In order for it to do that, you want to always be out there and always expose your property in the world to let people know that yes, we are in business to rent units. The next thing is we have repair and maintenance. Again, we use a formula that you can use anywhere from $350 to $400 per unit. We have turnover cost. That's what they call a turnover cost when someone leaves the apartment. You have to do painting. We're not talking about major capex, right? Not yet. We're going to talk about it in a minute. And then we have the contract services, for example, landscaping, pool contract. Joey, 282 is much higher. It's too much. Okay, that's going to go down to something on mid-100, 125, 150 max. Why? What is contract services in the community? Swimming pools? How much is swimming pool? 2,000 a month? Okay, it's a joke. Okay, and then landscaping, 6,000 a month. Okay, already about 100,000. What else do I need?
Pest control.
Nothing. 10,000 a year. What else?
10,000 a year.
This number going to go down.
I mean, the sellers have a lot.
Right.
They're paying 300, almost.
Why am I keeping this big number if it's going to go down? Because I want to be very conservative. I'm extremely conservative, and then I want to deliver better result. It's always better. Always want to, guys, you always want to be conservative. But this 282 is very high. I'm excited to let you know it's going to go down big time.
And that's just to show everybody how conservative we are when we underwrite. We don't underwrite with the best case scenario.
No, we underwrite with the worst case scenario because I do not want to give something and then not deliver. So whatever we deliver better it's a bonus for our investors because we want to show the world that we are very conservative. Utility, can we play with utilities?
No,
you cannot.
Common
Absolutely not.
No.
You cannot play with utility because this is public information. You go to the city. You find out what the utility every single month. Which, by the way, we're doing that. Okay, and then you have property taxes. Property taxes, we use a formula that usually it's between 75 to 80% of the purchase price times the millage rate. Minus 4% discount if you pay on time.
Which is about like 2% millage rate here.
2%, this 2%, yeah, 2%. Right. And then insurance. Guys, cost of insurance is skyrocketing. It's no joke, skyrocketing. And therefore, that's why we like to stay away from South Florida. South Florida, I've seen apartment, our community, $1,500 to $3,000 per door. It's a joke. It's a ripoff. That's now a big scam, just like Social Security. So you want to stay away from South Florida unless the deal is super, super good. Therefore, Central Florida and North Florida, the insurance prices are much less compared to other parts of Florida. So underwrite here the deal at $1,250 a door with the idea to get $1,000 per door. Again, we're going to be very conservative. Great. We have the capital, so the capital reserve or the turnover cost, it's the same thing. That's why you have zero here.
We put that in the over.
Same thing, that's fine.
Just did something else.
Right. Our NOI shows right now, coming in from day one, 3.1 million before rent going up. $3.1 million, just around 6 cap.
A 6 cap, yeah.
6 cap. What is a good cap? Okay, what is a good cap? It's a very good question. The answer is very complicated because cap rate does not make the deal alone by itself. Cap rate is just it's indication how much you're paying for the property. But question, let's say I'm paying for this property 7 cap rate. Yeah, it's a great cap, right? Anything above 6 is a great cap. I'm paying 7 cap rate, but my rent is already maximized. I didn't do anything. My job, I'm here to raise rent. Don't give me a high cap rate, and therefore I cannot raise the rent because the rent has already been capitalized. The rent is already maximized. We need assets where we know rent is going up. So now, how do we know we can raise the rent here? It's a good question. So I'm going to talk to you about three factors why I can get more rent here in this property. Number one, there is a property next door, and I wish can we feature it, and we cannot.
Right? Good. Good. Comparables, sorry.
All right, there's a property next door, brand new. Where is it?
Oh, you're talking about the new building.
The new building, it's not here, right?
I don't know if it's on this LM.
No, we're gonna have to bring it. There is a property next door, 240 units. They're going to recommend a minimum 30 to 35% higher in rent. Guess what? I'm going to get overflown. Because Gainesville, they're gonna start $2,000 and higher. Joy, Gainesville is not ready, my opinion, my humble opinion, I've been there for so long. Gainesville is not ready for rent in the 2000. Conventional, it's my opinion. Can they get it? Yeah, they're gonna get it, but it's gonna take time for them. I don't have time. I wanna be in the money from day one. Therefore, when we buy a property, and my average rent right now is $1,500, which by the way, that average rent doesn't meet the 1% rule.
It does.
Thank you.
It does.
All right. Okay. We buy our property when we go into contract. If I don't have the 1% rule, forget about the cap rate. Okay. I don't care about the cap. Cap comes second. I need to meet the 1% rule. What does it mean? If I'm paying $150 a door, $150,000 per door, I want to have rent as close as possible to $1,500 per door from day one. Don't tell me, oh yeah, it's $1,200, you can get to $1,500. Of course I can get to $1,500, but I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for future, I'm paying for today. I'm not interested in paying for future upside. Then I work for free. We're not here to work for free. We are not here to work for free. We want to make sure that the rents are in the money. 1% rule meet the eye. So the 1% rule is meeting the eye. We have a 1% rule. Now we know the assets next door are going to command rent close to $2,000 for a studio or a small one bedroom. At least another $400 more.
Wow.
Yeah. And by the way, the next door assets, which by the way I would like to share with the audience, the next opportunity. Okay, we're going to the studio and take a video of that. This got very little in landscaping, if you know what I mean. Remember we talked about landscaping? Tenants love the idea of having landscaping. They love the idea they can run around. So next door, there is very little landscaping. It's brand new. Yes, it is brand new. But your rent is going to be in the 2000. I don't have to make $2,000 rent to get to the finish line, Joey. I do not. Go back to the performance, please.
These are some other comps I just put on the board as you were speaking.
Oh, this is my comps. You see, I'm over here, right? 1480. Look at my comps.
And these are all next.
By the way, mind you, go back. 1830 for 1992 construction. I'm 2004, some of them, okay? I know the rent is low because this is my job, and and 98% right now the property is 98% pre-leased. You know your rent is low, in 98%, 99%. Our property usually are all 95% because we always want to push rent. Okay, now go back to the income, to the right. Our performer. Right. So over here, see, we are very conservative. We got $500,000, $600,000 extra in year one. That comes out to what, $50,000 a month?
Or so for on the top line?
Yeah. Right. So we believe
400,000. Yeah.
Those are, by the way, Joey, thank you very much. But those are very conservative numbers again, which is beautiful. We are not going to go aggressive. We are always going to over deliver. But you don't want.
What do you think that number will be?
Which one?
Year one.
Year one is going to be 6.5, but year two is going to be about 7.5. This should be 7.5.
27.5, you think?
Yeah.
So that's how conservative we're underwriting this deal. So we're only jumping up each year by $400,000 or $500,000.
Guys, it's all about management. When someone comes to my community,
but what does that mean just on a general rule of thumb? Like if I'm saying how much per unit is that more, right? If you're at $6.5 million to $7 million, right? That's another $500,000 a year in income.
Go ahead. Right. On the cap percent,
divided by 12 divided by 344 units. That's about $121 a month.
Go ahead. But it's very easy. $500,000 in income that's on a 6 cap is another $8 million.
A value.
Value. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And we are going to be conservative. We are going to exit at a 6 cap, not a 5 cap.
Right.
Yes, very conservative.
Right.
There you go. There is a property. And as you can tell, we are using a very, very conservative expenses, 48%. We are not going to go, I know how often I see people delivering 30% expenses, 35% expenses. It's a myth. You're not able to operate a property.
Doesn't happen with this.
Never happen. No, never happen 30%, 35%. Right, so we need to be under money. We got to make sure we deliver the right information and the right numbers.
All right. So high level, right? Talk about the numbers and everything. Purchase price is at $52.50, right? $52,250,000, and we're gonna have what up front? We're gonna have closing costs.
So let's talk about the capex. Yeah, we're gonna have about $1 million in closing cost and about $2 million.
By the way, they're all here.
And capex. Let's take a look at it, please.
They're all in this column.
$2.5 million. Thank you. Go down. Yes, leave it down. $2.5 million in working capital, and about $1 million in closing cost. What is $2.5 million for? So $2.5 million, we are going to do a great. From that $2.5 million, we're going to spend a lot of money on the exterior, landscaping, lighting. I want at nighttime, I want this to be like a Christmas tree at night. Okay?
It'll be bright.
But very bright.
That's level.
Very bright.
That's level.
By the way, that's very good for safety issue, and also people love the idea they can walk around at nighttime. As you know, summer gets very hot here. They want to go outside. They want to walk around.
Right.
I want them to enjoy the landscaping. Sure. Not just during the day. During the nighttime too. Right.
Makes sense.
So we're gonna have a lot of light. We're gonna have a lot of beautiful landscaping, a lot of color. Right now, the landscaping is very tired. It's very dead. It doesn't have a lot of color.
Not too much curb appeal.
Not too much color. The color is not there, but it's very clean, by the way. Pride of ownership. I will tell you that. Very clean. But it doesn't have the color. I'm going to put a lot of color into landscaping. Therefore, can make it more live.
You sound like an artist right now.
I am an artist. This is an artist for us, okay? It's an art.
It's an art.
It's an art. We're going, this is a bread and butter. We don't sleep until we get to the finish line.
Because I feel like a lot of investors, they look at it, they're very black and white. Numbers make sense.
No.
Look at a way to actually add value in a very creative way.
I want to be able to, okay, listen, if my kids were going to school, okay, I put it in community. I want to make it very safe. Does that make sense?
Right. Like you care about the tenant.
I care about
their quality of life.
Do you know why I care about a tenant? Because if I take care of my tenant, they're going to take care of me.
That's how you look at it.
Yes, they will take care of me. Whatever you give to the world, guys, you get back. You give positive energy, you're gonna get positive energy. You give shitty apartments, you're not getting the rent.
It's a good way to look at it.
That's the only way.
Okay.
So therefore,
landscaping and what else in CapEx?
CapEx, landscaping, curb appeal, signage, and potentially I may put some gate to close off a little bit section to make it more safe, even though it's very safe. By the way, you can Google the property, 0 crime. No gunshot, nothing. I did some due diligence on this one. That's important. So from the outside point of view, we're gonna have some good landscaping, very high level landscaping and light, and driveway. I might have to do some driveway, but that's about it.
No roof or.
So the roof, yeah, when it comes to aesthetic. No,
aesthetic stuff, landscape,
like
the
roof,
gates.
Right, the roof. We are going to look at the roof. We're going. By the way, you always want to get three estimates from 3 licensed roofers to make sure what it needs. And yes, it will need a new roof. Any older property that tell you they don't need a new roof, they lie to you. So the question is, when do you need the roof? Today or tomorrow? And what kind of level? What is the, some of the buildings I'm told are new roofs. So we'll take a look at that.
So bottom line is you bought it for $52 million. You have 2.5 in CapEx. You have
only about 55 million.
About 55, 56.
Right.
Somewhere around there.
And I'm looking to exit at 6.
What's your exit? I think where we have a 3-year hold, 3 years.
3-year hold. And I'm going to show you a little secret.
And
okay?
operate on a very conservative number. Net operating income of 4.3.
Right.
Right. 4.3 at a 6 cap. Right. Divided by 6. That's $71.5 million.
Correct.
71.5.
Right. I'm going to show you a little secret. I don't have 3 years. I'm good on the beach. I don't have 3 years. I'm out in 2 years.
How old do you want to?
2 years. 2
years.
Yeah. Now, I may not sell it. I may refi, get the money back,
Right.
and keep it for cash flow. Okay? But I'm not waiting 3 years.
And I went through it.
No, baby, I need action.
18 months to 24 months.
18 months, 24 months. Yeah. Listen, it's sort of like,
So those numbers made sense to you, right?
Right.
I'm looking at this number over here, year 3 NOI, right?
Correct.
4.3
Correct.
divided by 6 cap. That's 71.6 million.
Yeah.
All in, our expenses right now are what, 55?
Correct.
That's a 16
$60 million a buck. Yes, right.
profit.
Listen, let me explain to you, okay, in a nutshell.
That's not even calculating cash flow you make.
No, that's cash flow. That's cash flow. You know, July 4th coming up, right?
Right.
And what is happening in New York City? Fireworks.
Right.
Every schlepper.
Right.
Every night. I know you have phone. I had to be repeating. I had to give working on record. You know, but you know what? The next day after Mrs. Fireworks, they're getting ready for the next one.
That's right.
The same thing here. We are getting ready for refi. As soon as they close, we are preparing our numbers, preparing the income for an event or sale or refi, even if it's 2 years down the road.
Right.
Suppose I get it within a year. We don't know.
Right.
That's a very big bonus. I'm not counting on that.
They don't count on that.
No,
Right.
2 years is a very good number.
That's why we project 3 years.
Yeah.
Worst case.
Worst case 3 years.
Everything here you for.
Everything is worst case here. Okay, so this week we're going to Gainesville. I want to share with the audience some high quality, high level photos and the location and the area. And by the way, Gainesville was voted 2024 #1 city in Florida. And then also in 2024, some 35 million people visited a place called Butler Plaza, which is about 10 minutes from this property. 35 million people, and that's public information, Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, so there's a good story here. Not to mention, we owned there, we had a very nice exit, and we know the area, we know the market. This is one thing we don't want to do. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. No, we're not going to reinvent the wheel in an economy where a lot of things are uncertain. We're just following situation where it's a cookie cutter, what we did before, we're doing over and over again. So join us this week for some very good high-level videos of the property, including but not limited to what's around the area. And I want to show the audience too what's next door to it. Now, also my property, which is about one mile away, current ownership, current management, we already command about at least $200 more in rent per month. Yeah. And this one, by the way, I showed you a little secret: bigger units. So
nicer amenities.
Yes, bigger units.
Next, and
2004. Next,
better situated. Better.
We think it's about correct. Yeah. But we are very, very excited, and we know we're going to bring the bacon to Mama. Touch it off.